What's up, guys? I'm James, and welcome back to another one. Sorry about the Roblox gameplay. I don't really know how I can make high quality ARK footage on my Xbox and then get it onto the PC. So today I am going to be talking about another ARK suggestion, and this one is about the center. I don't know if it's a suggestion, like a demand, like add this. It's more of a general brainstorming session about the center. And you guys are free to comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm also going to be linking a post in the description, which is where I got the inspiration to do this video. It's by a dude on the ARK forums named Sir Peter, and credit goes to him for the inspiration. So the center was the second map added to ARK Survival Evolved, and it is a great one, but that is mainly in the aesthetics. Once you get past all the terrific views, the map starts to get stale and all the problems start to settle in. Don't get me wrong, I still love the map, and I even find myself playing it to this day, but it still needs fixes and improvements to become a fan favorite. So today, I'm going to be outlining all of the bugs, issues with the center, and I'll try to brainstorm some new things that could be added. So first, let's talk about things which the map is missing, issues with the map and the bugs associated with it. The center has many holes to get into the map, as well as areas where you can mesh through the map. So yeah, this makes it really difficult for the average PvP player to play without getting trolled, raided, or falling through the map. There are areas in the cliffside cavern and the center where you are able to reach normally inaccessible areas and build inside of them. I even recall there once being, possibly still there, an area under the map you could build in, and it even had Karaku spawns. Anyways, the terrain needs to be fixed to prevent meshing, and kill barriers need to be put underneath the map in some areas to prevent people from purposely trying to get there. The next issue is that many of the resources on the map are unharvestable. This is one of the problems I find with the map. And although some may not think it is that serious, it downgrades the map's quality far below others like Ragnarok and Valguero, both of which have custom resource harvestables. A few examples of unharvestable resources I can think of on the center are mushrooms in the redwood forest, which I believe should give rare mushrooms, and a lot of the bushes and reeds in the swamp, as well as many others like underwater rocks. The map does not receive updates. Studio Wildcard is constantly coming up with new maps and improving old ones like the island. But apart from the Redwood update, the center has barely seen any new ones. Ever. Personally, I think the map should get some more love from the developers. And this is also why I'll be brainstorming ideas for a potential new update later in this video. The map has no unique features. The center does not have anything unique associated with it. Apart from the map itself, it is just that, a map. It has no unique items, structures, weapons, resources, creatures, or anything else that can fit in between. Heck, even Ragnarok has unique harvesting nodes, creature variants, new dungeon mechanics, and mini-bosses. The center has none of those. The map has no lore or story associated with it. Personally, with a map as beautifully crafted as the center is, I found it a real shame that there was no lore associated with it. Don't get me wrong, Ragnarok and Valguero are just as deserving for lore, but this is a center-specific map, so I won't get into detail on those maps, both of which deserve lore as well. And now, time for some issues which I'll just speed through. Parts of the map, mainly rocks, strangely become invisible and visible depending on where you are. The height limit is too low to the ground. Grass goes through the floor when building in areas with high vegetation. Caves have tremendous overspawning, which ruins them. The overspawning of the cave creatures makes the map extremely laggy. The game thinks that the underwater bubbles are still part of the water. Basilosaurs die in the lake under the floating island and in the underworld because the game still thinks that they are deep underwater. So now, I will be talking about how I think the map can be improved upon with some new features. So first off, and this is pretty obvious, fix all of the previously mentioned issues. Next, make creatures spawn in the underwater bubbles. Currently, no creatures spawn there, which is a real shame. I think that spawns for certain creatures, maybe some swamp ones like the Dimetrodon, the Achatina, or the Diplocaulus would be good, as well as maybe creatures that you can find in the beaches, like Carbonomes, dodo birds, or Dilophosaurus. Next would be to make Achatina spawn in the ruins around the map. And speaking of ruins, the center needs more creative ruins instead of the normal, overused ones currently on the center consisting of just foundations with archways. Similar to how Ragnarok has dungeons, booby traps, buttons, castles, harvestable wreckage, and many more. I think the center should have more unique ruins like those. New aberration biomes in caves and maybe above ground as well. Adding in aberration spawns into deserving caves as well. Ragnarok has Scorched Earth. Valguero has Scorched Earth and aberration. Center needs aberration. And possibly even Scorched Earth. Ben Burkhart, also known as Evil Mr. Frank, that is the person who made the center. And he even said in an interview that I'm not sure if he said he would add it or if he just liked the idea, but he did mention adding a desert map onto the center, and this was before Scorched Earth came out, I'm pretty sure. Next, and relating to aberration, is to make the animals in the underground world aberrant variants. You can find normal animals there, not just cave critters, and seeing how it is a cave, I think it would be a good idea to make them aberrant variants. Next, and this is a biome improvement, would be to upgrade the spider nest cave. Maybe make it so you can shoot the eggs and they explode into thousands of baby spiders that pop out and attack you. Or maybe if you harvest them with a sickle, you get silk. The spider nest has the potential to be an extremely unique area, one which hasn't been seen in any other map before it. I'd hate to see the idea be wasted. Adding griffin spawns on the floating island. They are a Ragnarok feature, but Valguero has griffins when it was still a part of the mod, and not a part of ARK, because Wildcard ruined DLCs. But it would make sense for griffins to spawn up there, and it would also give more of an urge to actually go there. Apart from, I'm pretty sure, an artifact, there's no reason to go there. Everything on there wants to kill you. Adding passive creature spawns in the Lava Oasis Cave. It's a cave filled with vegetation and water. I think adding things like dodo birds and Dilophosaurus, and maybe even the sheep or Achatinas into the cave would be pretty cool. Adding Ichthyornis spawns on the iceberg. There's only Karaku spawns on there right now, and I think it would make sense to make it so seagulls can spawn on there as well. Ragnarok has some really large trees in some of the jungle lakes, which you can actually build redwood tree platforms on. Valguero has some of these as well, in the form of cool jungle trees. It's about time the center swamp biome gets some redwood platform trees. Maybe a new floating archipelago biome. This could be placed over the edge of the world. I already said that the height barrier of the map is too low, so maybe this could be found really high up, only accessible by a high stamina flyer. If not a Scorched Earth resource, maybe, if not a Scorched Earth biome, is what I meant to say. Maybe some Scorched Earth resources, for sure. Salt can be found in caves, silk can be harvested in the jungle, etc. Make the thunderstorms less common. They are extremely common right now, and they are extremely annoying. Adding weather to the center could also be a cool idea. Speaking of thunderstorms, Maybe the thunderstorms have lightning, which has a chance of hitting something. Occasionally it can knock over a tree, but sometimes, who knows, if you have a metal base, maybe it strikes that next. Maybe if you're in the water and the water gets striked, everything in the short proximity gets damaged. A new rough waves weather event could damage shoreline structures during thunderstorms. Hurricanes could be a cool idea as well, especially seeing how the center is primarily focused on the ocean. Maybe the underground world could have occasional earthquakes or thermal events similar to Journey of the Center of the Earth, where they become extremely hot. I actually find it pretty ironic because when I went to the underground world, when I was in survival, I actually nearly froze to death. And this was back when I was a noob, so being me, I spawned in for armor. Improve the Redwood Mountains biomes. If we're going to increase the height limit, that means those biomes would be accessible, the mountain area. If you glitch through in ghost mode, which I have done myself, there are trees which you can find up there. Especially because there's already a city up there. The center used to have a boss arena where it was underground in a cave similar to the underworld, and the Broodmother and the Megapithecus would spawn in there. I think a boss arena like that would be brought back. Or similar to how the boss arena right now, you can actually see the rest of the map, and that's because it's located on the map itself. Maybe a new boss arena could be put on somewhere like the Floating Archipelago, and it generates a barrier around it when no one's there. When there's a boss battle in progress, but otherwise you can search around it yourself. Anyhow, I think the mountains really need an improvement. And being able to build your base in places like on top of the huge monkey statue up there, or near some of the waterfalls, or looking over the edge of the map would be really cool. Maybe at some point the barrier starts to fade and you can actually start seeing the Milky Way and stuff up there because of how high up it is. I don't know, maybe you could because of, again, how tall it is, the barrier starts to fade, you can see Earth, the shattered moon, and all the stars at night. Improve the underwater biome and add underwater engrams. I am of the opinion that ARK Ocean features should be made into their own unique map. But who knows? I think, in fact, the center should get underwater engrams. Maybe a submarine to help you explore the underwater dungeons, underwater buildings, and new fish, stuff like that. Fire wyvern spawns on the lava island, along with sulfur resources up there. It makes sense, it really does, and maybe the volcano could also be upgraded to be much more fierce. Maybe it could shoot out meteorites just like it does in Ragnarok. And I think mantis should also spawn on there. And the half-burnt island should have death worms. And of course, if we're talking about all the heat areas, we can't forget the cold ones. Ice wyvern nests should be on the ice mountains. And maybe even a new icicle mechanic, which has a chance of falling on you and dealing some damage. Who knows? The center is a map with tons of potential, and it is not the fault of the creator of the map that it's really bad. During the first couple of months, and I actually asked him himself, I tweeted to him, how long did you work on the map each day? And he replied and said that during the first couple months he spent 6 to 7 days of the week working on it, 12 to 16 hours a day, and this was during the mod competition. So we definitely need to give him some extra credit. It's just the map isn't finished, and I really think it should be. See you guys on the next video.